Alrighty. Hello, 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 hello. I never know what's gonna start. But anyways, I'll just go right now. It is time for my nightly do Blender for 15 minutes and then crash the open broadcast system program. Great stuff. Right here we have what I think is gonna be my final uh rendering of my Mach 1 robot heart from the Mesopotamian and Incan era with stone cogs, wooden wadding wheels, wooden crossbeams, and wooden chutes. I think I'm going to have to stop it short right here. And I think it's good enough. I hope some of my other ones can compensate for it a little bit. And that's where I go to here, which is how far I am so far with my Victorian heart. Now you can see there's a few things you're probably already noticing need some tweaking, such as what if I added a couple different textures on the cogs there? I think it'd look a lot better, don't you? It will. It might also help to add something a little bit more diffuse because when light bounces around this much, it's gonna get messy. Every time light bounces, it's going to get a little bit messier unless you really, really use your processing power to get it done. And you can see some of those dents that I added to the texture, the material last time really came through. You can really see them there. It's almost a little cheese-like, but for the fact that I just needed a little bit of roughing up for this distance, means I kind of like it. You can see that the angle changes quite a bit what the material is going to look like, and I kind of like that because that's a little bit too gold and this is just a little bit too diffuse, and somewhere in the middle we might get something a little bit more brassy. Or I'm going to switch a lot of them over to my other material, which is the darker and more rugged brass, which is around here, which I really like, and I'm going to add a couple of the cogs in there and maybe a couple silver cogs as well. I made a couple panels, I made a couple layers of panels, and then I started copying those around. I added this faceplate, as you saw before, by taking a part of my model heart and taking it out and then putting it on top. Same with this. This is probably going to need some tweaking. What I wanted to do was just have some of the brackets, some kind of bracket around the cogs a little bit. I'm probably going to replace that with something else. Maybe we'll get to a little bit of really craftsmanship wood. The glass might need a little bit of work, or maybe just some more samples to remove some of the noise. I'm transmitting, am I not? Yes, I think so. And probably the red liquid inside is also a little bit too vague, but that might be a problem with the outer glass before I take a look at what's going on in here, which looks pretty chaotic, and I'll probably have to go do something with that as well. But for now, I'm going to try to change things up around here. I'm going to add a couple more plates. I'm going to try to get the brackets right, maybe with a little bit of wood. I'm going to add some more machinery over here, and that'll be that. And I believe I already showed you this, which is at least my first draft for a later heart, which I just wanted to do one day because I wanted to play with materials, and I already had the exact heart shape from my thing, from my self-made reference heart. And so here we go, launching straight into the mix. That's probably actually a problem with my mouse when you see how sluggishly it zooms out. I think it's just a little bit unsteady. Plus, I don't have a great mouse pad. It's actually just a home design book. So, serves me alright, I get yours today at booksusedasmousepads.com. Good one. Wow, sometimes it looks so much better in the window. Like you expect it to look that great over here. Maybe it just needs to be on a rounded thing. What would it look like on our little monkey friend over here? I know there's a name for her, Susan or something. It's something. Back to the regular sphere. Alright, so I don't think I'm going to be keeping this bracket. Although, maybe I should just keep its lower part down there. So I'm going to delete these faces and take a look. definitely needs some sort of bracket around here. Oh boy. Maybe I just need a new mouse for the zooming in and out. Might be helpful. I'd be careful. Alright, so as you see, whole mess of cogs, some a little bit more solid ones in the back. All around here. Overlap a little bit, but hey, that's alright because you can't see it unless it's in the front. In the front, I have designed to not very much overlap. You can see, maybe, you cannot see. Oh, you can see right here. My first layer, and then my second layer, my third, and my fourth. That's what I did for my first sheet, and I've been copying that around just a tad. Let's see. I think that's gonna either gonna have to go higher. I think I'll put a little bit of a Bunsen burner thing here, which I'm gonna take a look at 1 second. If I can find a very old-timey gas burning. Ooh. Oh hoo hoo. You know, I'm not sure how old this is. Probably not as old as I feel that it is, but I think it looks really nice. It's also a little bit taller than I wanted. That's interesting. Also, it doesn't like to load. That's always a good feature. So, let's see. Do I want to show a burning mechanism? It kind of makes sense for it to be in the background, though. You know what? It's not as exciting as I thought it might be. Not quite as exciting. So, how about I make a kind of stand-in for my Bunsen burner. Oh, actually, it's in this tab. It shouldn't be in that tab. I'm reserving that tab for the cogs. So there we go. Let's take this. Copy and put it right underneath this. What? Yep. What? Yep. Go. Put that in. A little bit too far. I'm going to move that up just a tad, but I'm also going to make it go in just a tad while I'm doing that. Here's a little bit of a curve joint. In a little bit. Up a little bit. In a little bit while it's still up. A little bit curve. A little bit up. And then we are going to go in. You know what? It looks like it's kind of one more major curve up to right about here where the Bunsen burner starts. We're going to do that. We're going to go right here, and we are going to make it go in so that the curve goes like that. There's kind of our idea here. We will do a smooth. Oh, it already has an edge split on it because of what it was. Alright, we will do edge split and then subdivide surface. And that really smooths it out just a tad. Do I need two? I may need two. I'll just tell it not to show it. Then it won't be a problem. It will show up in the final render. So let's see. After that, we will just go in. Probably gonna make it go up just a tad, just for what the picture looks like. Right about there. Bigger than that. And then we will do a big thing up. In, up, out, up, in, up, in, up. This part will be a little bit more silvery, while this part will be more brass. So let's see, I'm going to put this right up to here. face. Wait. And move that face far inward. There we go. Now it looks like there's a hole on the top. So let's see. That's about what we're going for. It's a little bit stunted compared to what we have in that picture, but that's what we got. So let's see. We're going to take it all. We are going to, let's see, can we make a metallic version of this bronze a second? And then maybe we can add a little bit more grunge to it. So let's try that. Let's make bronze more 3. Let's change it to bronze grunge. Even though, you know, grunge is the best word for it. Since I try to do things procedurally, I could use grunge maps. I could also, you know, learn to use grunge maps, which would also help me learn how to do UV maps better. Or I could just do this. You know, what if I do a brown reflection? That's not what I want, though. I want a white reflection in a dark brown material. So instead of white, let's make one of these. Just one and see what happens. One of these, dark brown. How does the material react? Instead, let's do white, and then top will be dark brown. Alright, now let's make the bottom part a little bit dark brown. Maybe a little bit lighter. Still, our metallic properties persist. Let's make this diffuse that we have a little bit more brown. Wow, that made it worse somehow. That's probably the wrong thing to do. Invert kinda inverts black in that case. That's what we want to go for. Alright, let's try to identify what's going on here. Is this mixture too high? About over here. It's highly metallic. Let's move this one a second, see what happens. Put this back in again. Wrong, wrong, wrong thing to do. What do we have here? Alright, I'm feeling it, I'm feeling it. Let's try upping our dents in the material. So, I believe that is our Musgrave texture. What if we, let's see, mix, let's add this up. A little bit too much, huh? But we found our right button. We found the right pressure point. Now you see there's a lot smaller ones. Maybe we don't quite want that. Let's try bringing the scale down to 40 while keeping that FAC up. Interesting, yep, so that will create larger dents that are also more numerous. And if we keep going, it will get pretty crazy. Like, that's way too much. Let's have fun. No, you know what? Past that point, doesn't do much. Here's a kind of sparse looking. Here's a little bit too much, to the point where you can really tell the pattern. We don't want to tell the pattern too much. Little 0.2. Now, color ramps are real fun to play with, because if you're like me, you barely have an idea of what they do. So, I see. So this is basically doing our same thing, fact, I kind of want to take that back, but you know what? That looks pretty close to what we were going for. 1 second, though. What's up with our noise texture over here? I'm gonna add these two together, which was a Voronoi and a Musgrave, which is actually what's giving us part of our bump map over here. And the other part is this noise. And there's our problem. This screen is like all the way up to 1, meaning it's only accepting one of the colors. So if we slide that down, we'll start seeing both of the textures coming into play. Let's see, if we put it all the way over here, what do we get? We get those noise textures bumping out. You know what? I think we're going to have to bump up the production of those just a tad. Let's move this down, since that's coming from our noise texture that we're dealing with. That's interesting. Ooh! That really muddles up the material. Now let's add that with a little bit more of our Musgrave and Voronoi mixture. It's too bad you can't. Sometimes 50-50 just doesn't seem to cut it. You know? Hey, there's something going on there. You can really see that in our reflection map there. In fact, it's starting to look kind of strange in that way, but I'm gonna see how this will look in our main lighting situation. Just you and me and this. So first of all, we're gonna assign this to all faces. Then we're gonna take our main shaft here up to right here. We're gonna add a texture. You know what? I think I might have one that can do for this. What am I looking for? Let's try this. I know this is an old texture from the original thing that I was working with here, but it looks like it might work just fine. We'll assign that to these. And then we're going to take these top ones and we are going to assign our light bronze. Then we will take a look. Oh my Bronze Grunge. What have I done to you? Oh boy. Not exactly pretty, is she? Let's see. I don't think there's much we can do about that. There is the fact that... Let's see. What? Nope. Going for Bronze Grunge. Let's try this. One day, this will register. Maybe, if I move this further back, you'll have an easier time. Here we go. How awful is that looking? You know, it's still far too shiny and also too orange. You know what? There's one thing I should consider. And that is the fact that I didn't really... that I should see this with all my modifiers on. So we're gonna... Yeah, they are all on. That's great. Let's add a bevel. I think that's what it really needs, a bevel. If I can. Which I don't think I can. Oh, yeah. Always forget about that. Whoa! That's getting groovy, huh? Let's put that back down. Alright, I'm not going to find a good angle for doing this unless let's try this first. This could get pretty intensive, because we now have all that stuff in there. All those vertices. And you know what? I don't think anything's doing anything. No, just each individual plane is getting beveled after it's been subdivided so much. And it's not very helpful. And now for a little bit of weighting. And a little bit of graying out. Great stuff, great stuff. Yeah, I don't even know if the stream is working right now. I'm gonna reload the channel a second because it's still stuck on that showing of my first little render for the Victorian heart from the very beginning. So, alright, you're having some trouble here, Outlander. Ah. Do I have some sort of speech trap in play? Because, there we go. Thank you. Oh. We'll just add our own edge split instead of pressing Control Z again. Whatever's happening, it seemed to happen correctly. No, I'm not giving up on this. I have a dream that this little guy will work. So let's take another look at this material. Too shiny. Too shiny. So let's go over to our Beckham. Ooh! That's dark, but still reflective in a way. You know, I'm still not finding the correct way to get light involved. Maybe that's pretty close. Huh? 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 Still doesn't quite have that shine. Oh boy. I don't know how I press the wrong button sometimes. My modeling space back to the forefront. I think this really needs a bevel, so I'm just going to go like this, and I'm going to just go in and do bevel, which is Control B. You know, I like to mix it up. It's only going to bevel horizontally, isn't it? That's fine, that's fine. I'll do it myself. Press E. Move it down. No, that's not the right solution. I am going to... Well, let me try that bevel anyways. Yeah, it doesn't want to do anything with that. Alright, this is the way I know that will be pretty foolproof, you know, not pretty likely to not mess everything up. And I messed everything up. Alright. Alright. Everyone makes mistakes. Nobody panic, nobody panic. I really expected it to just copy off of there, but it doesn't want to. Is it not connected? How could it be not connected? That is bizarre. Did I accidentally separate that or something? Huh. So wait a minute. This is no, it's in no way connected to everything. Two separate sides. I must have separated that at some point. Am I changing anything out here? I don't know. You know, I don't know how this happened. I haven't seen this before. Ah, must be some sort of edge split, or edge split is probably it. It's still applied. Shade. Smooth. Wait, that won't help because the edges are already separated. And this is why you usually leave it as a modifier, because edge split will tend to split your edges so that they cease where they cease. Alright, so what can I do? I shouldn't really do anything. Yeah, I really shouldn't do anything. So let's see, can I make this look good?